Hi, my name is Garrett Meyer, and I will try to persuade you why prostitution in the United States should be legalized. In many communities throughout the U.S., the police investigate and arrest people involved in prostitution. A careful examination of this practice shows that it reduces the quality of life in society. Legalization improves neighborhoods and promotes safety by forcing prostitution out of places where it would more naturally be found, such as brothels or near motels. The police drive that activity into the streets of neighborhoods where it otherwise would not exist. As a result, residents of the neighborhoods are exposed to the activity against prostitution. Also, because of prostitution being forced into streets, the dangers to many prostitutes greatly increase. Prostitutes whose jobs involve working at night and getting into cars with strangers can be often, and have been, easy pickings for serial killers and other sociopaths. James Allen Fox, a criminal justice professor at Northeastern University, says prostitutes are most frequent targets for serial killers. A sensible solution to these problems would be to follow the example of some European cities where prostitution is allowed in certain designated areas. People who are interested in the activity go to places where it is permitted, and they leave alone the neighborhoods that don't wish to be associated with it. And the prostitution can work in environments where they are much safer. Legalization reduces crime. Another problem with prostitution arrests is that they cause long-term increases in crime and drug abuse in society. Margot St. James, a former social worker and leading advocate of legalizing prostitution, writes, "When a woman is charged for sex crime, it is a stigma that lasts her lifetime, and it makes her unemployable. St. James identifies the stigma as a major reason why a large percentage of women who are in jail were first arrested for prostitution. The arrest record forecloses normal employment possibilities, keeps the women working as prostitutes longer than they otherwise would, and sets them up for a lifetime of involvement with drugs and serious crime. Keeping prostitution illegal also contributes to crime because many criminals view prostitutes and their customers as attractive targets for robbery, fraud, rape, or other criminal acts. The criminals realize that such people are unlikely to report the crimes to police because the victims would have to admit that they were involved in the illegal activity of prostitution when the attacks took place. If prostitution were legal, these victims would be less reluctant to report to police any criminal acts that occurred while they were involved in it. This would significantly improve the probability of catching the criminals and preventing them from victimizing others. And in many cases, it could deter them from committing the crimes in the first place." The view is consistent with the experience of the European countries where prostitution is legal. They have far lower crime rates than the United States. A similar situation applies in Nevada counties where prostitution is legal. According to Barb Brentz and Katie Hosbeck, two professors of sociology at the University of Nevada at Las Vegas, who have extensively studied the Nevada brothel industry, those countries are quite peaceable and have very low crime rates. No wonder that in November 2004, in Churchill County, Nevada, a ballot prepared to outlaw prostitution was rejected by a 2-to-1 margin. Although the county is mostly Republican and supported George W. Bush for president, the same voters saw no reason to stop brothels from operating there. Legalization also promotes liberty and privacy. By enacting laws against prostitution, it violates Americans' fundamental right of individual liberty and personal privacy. Thomas Jefferson and other founders of the United States envisioned a society where people can live without interference from government, provided they don't harm others. As Jefferson said in his first inaugural address, A wise and frugal government, which shall restrain men from injuring one another, shall leave them otherwise free to regulate their own pursuits of industry and improvement. Or as Arthur Hope wrote about consensual acts in the San Francisco Chronicle in 1992, the function of government is to protect me from others. It is up to me, thank you, to protect me from me. In a free society, it makes no sense for the government to be telling persons, particularly the poor, they cannot charge a fee for harmless services they otherwise are at liberty to give away. To paraphrase George Carlin, selling is legal and sex is legal. So why isn't selling sex legal? Can anyone other than ignorant or cruel argue that sex workers should not be permitted to help with such persons? I think not. Thank you.